Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and yeah, I have decided to do something a bit different on the channel. I decided that I want to do somewhat of a speed commentary type of video in Planet Zoo, since I love building zoos, and I just built so many zoos, and I've just let out so much creativity in my head. I just decided, well, let me just share with you guys, and what better way than just to build in silence and just commentate over it. I've watched a couple other YouTubers do it, like the Lady Designer. Her channel will be in the link in the description, and Best in Slot as well. You guys should definitely go check them out. But what I decided to do was start with a South American themed, like Amazon jungle kind of feel zoo. Like with a lot of foliage in the beginning, and I felt like in the beginning of this I wanted the guests to walk into something that's not too like in your face and I wanted them to get like a slow gradual feel into the zoo and kind of just give them a jungly feel and mysterious kind of cool feel to the entrance of this. So what better way to do it with some water and foliage, and I definitely love what I've started to do here, placing down a lot of foliage and filling out this blank spaces with the foliage of all. It's like so many different types of plants and bushes, and I also placed some rocks and tropical stuff, and just to give it a bit of oomph and just give it that mysterious. And also you guys can see that I also placed some mist down, and that gives that more of a mysterious like kind of jungly feel. I just love the way that it looks, and just going through this, placing the different types of plants. And also I love the look of this purple plant that I placed on, like purple bush. I'm not sure what it is called, but I just love the way it looks. And also like placing like little moat rivers type of things, and just to like also like tie in everything, I placed on the mist, and it just puts everything slowly together. I think what I've decided now is I want to put down I want to put down some shops, like just to start off, and I decided on placing some small stalls, small stall shops. I placed down a gulpy soda and information and a loony balloons, and just to begin people on their journey into the zoo. But yeah, it's just to give them something that they can come and spend some money. But I also decided to place down a lot of this Scaevola bush is the name of this bush that I'm placing around by these stalls, and you'll see a lot of that throughout the zoo that I'm gonna use, because I just love the way that like the round look, but also like the texture of the leaves. It looks so cool. Placing the mist right underneath those plants kind of put it off a bit for me, and it just felt like a bit too much, so I placed it behind the stalls so you can kind of see it, but it also gives it that cool looks. So I placed some of this bracken, which is the name of this plant. Just remembered what it's called, the bracken. There's like 3 different types that I placed throughout this entrance part here, but placing some more water and some little pond kind of things. I decided also to play around with the watercolors, and I just didn't like the way that it looked with the transparent. You can kind of just see too much of the water, so I kind of just went through and kind of changed the watercolor and the transparency just to make it a bit darker. And yeah, because like I mean, if you go to the Amazon jungle, the water's not like super transparent, you can see right through it. So just placed a bunch more of those trees. I think it's a Wimber tree, I think is the name of it. Just connecting these paths, making future paths. But for now I think that we're I don't know if I was gonna decide to place some more stalls around here or do something else. But yeah, I wanted to give it more of the jungly feel, and so it can just excite people coming into it. And definitely that is definitely what I've kind of achieved here in the beginning. Just going through everything, and yeah, I just love the way that it looks. You'll see I'm decided to start something brand new here. I just want to like My idea was to place. I want to make a like large tunnel with a bunch of exhibits of small animals, small exhibit animals. Place them in this cave and kind of. I wanted to make like a tunnel. I want to make like a mysterious tunnel. So I'm placing all these exhibits in this like along this curved path here and trying to get some of this. I went with a sculpted map just because I love the elevations and stuff, the different terrain changes, and just so it's not so boring. And also that went very nicely with the way I kind of designed this cave, just like the slow like gradual up climb and then the decline. I found one like these, I don't know, like a rock tree type of thing. I placed them in random because I saw some of them on like because those exhibits are like aquatic type of exhibits, but it also gives like a jungly feel. I also went with this, I'm not sure what the name of this rock is, but just, it's the newer type of rock that they added. I mean, it's been around for a while, but this is the main kind of texture of rock I wanted to use, because it does give that gritty feel, instead of using the other types of rocks that are just flat and kind of roundish. But I throw these around and kind of just, I'm laying out the edges and the way that this cave is gonna flow, and just the walls and stuff. So I just love the way that this is starting to turn out, and just giving it, it has to be like a cave feel, and that's what I'm trying to achieve here. And I think this is exactly what is starting to form. And just spending so much time placing all these rocks and placing them specifically so that we can make just making the wall along to make the cave wall. So I placed some rocks above just to like kind of heighten the walls, and then we're gonna also start placing them all around so that it gives that heightened wall feel. But also we're also gonna decrease the height on them so that a low-ish kind of rock, but placing them lower like that so that we can finish out the foundation of the walls, but then also start placing the roofing. The roofing of this is I'm basically building it like with flat clad rock. I think that's what the name of the rock is, I'm not too sure, but I'll call it that. But anyway, I just love the way that this starts to turn out with the walling. It puts itself, it just pulls itself together. And I went with like a grayish type of feel to match the rocking on the exhibits, but placing these flat rocks along to make the roof here. It took me a while. I think I placed hundreds of these around just to make the roof, and it turned out really good in the end. Just placing this continuously around. So yeah, I'm gonna let this go by, and then I'll be back once I'm actually done with this roofing. I didn't know exactly what I was going to be doing with like the outer area and just to kind of cover the out area, but I think I decided on just blocking off this middle area here is exactly, and slowly just filling in some of the small gaps that are in there, just giving it just a flat look and it took us a bit of a while to kind of just make everything a bit flat. And I think I also decided to I have to fill out this area here just to kind of close up the cave. Um, tunnel cave is, I guess, what we're going to be calling it. The mysterious cave, I think, is the name that I'm starting to decide to go for here. But once I started like placing on these rocks, they all like kind of grouped together, so I had to kind of be careful on what I was deleting, otherwise I was going to delete so much more of what I needed to do. So, I mean, there's like small gaps, so when I use the align to surface type of thing, and also like the random rotation of these rocks, yeah, this is the small the small bundle clad rocks is what I used, and you'll see that I'm gonna start placing them on top, just to kind of give it that, I don't know, just good look. It looks good to me. I think it does, and just placing them randomly and just give it a bit of texture on top of there. Well, guests are not really gonna look on top of there, so this I'm not too worried. And just closing it out, giving the top of this roofing a bit of texture with these clad rocks is pretty cool, and I just love the way that it looks. It turned out good, and yeah, I think here's where I decided to kind of close up the inner area there. I built the wall exactly like that, so that I was gonna decide to build like a wall to kind of I wanted to build a wall. My idea was so I can place like the name of the zoo on top of these flat rocks that I'm kind of rotating here to give it the smooth wall feel. But just giving it all around a full clad rock finish here, which is pretty cool. Closing out here with a bunch of rocks, and just want to give it a bit of a smooth look. So yeah, this is exactly where I just gave it a bit of a smooth look here, and yeah, closing out with these and just closing that jumbled area with these. I mean, guests don't look up there, but I mean, it looks better if I close it up, so that it actually looks like a cave, even though it's just the tunnel around there. But also, if you go inside the exhibits, they also point out, so that you like the glass is see-through. But I think eventually later I close it up to give it that lovely feel, and just to put trees behind here, give it a finish. And I think here's exactly where I decided to put up the Renfield sign with these letters. I put the align to surface, so then it just places randomly. I don't want to make it so straight, so it's just sitting against the wall, which makes it look so good. And I'm trying to find a good spotlight to use for just to light it up. And I was using these ground lights, but they weren't really working. Like, I think I just wanted to be a wider like light spread, so I used like the small like ring lighting. But later I think I do change it with some like fire just the lighting that you will see definitely is going to be outstanding. And I decided to kind of maybe light up the cave a bit with on the roofing, but I now did decide that I wasn't going to do that, because it was gonna be too much of a hassle if I was just gonna. So I just decided to remove those lighting and then put back those rocks, because I mean I undid everything. But I did decide to kind of I need to place also more info lights, but I placed those lights like in front of each exhibit. So here I'm just running through and placing these info signs for the exhibits, just quickly placing them down. placing lights inside every one of those, but I mean the power didn't really reach, so I'm just building a small staff area along the back of this cave area. I mean, it turned out good. I think it turned out good the way I wanted it to, with the lighting inside there. I decided to place these like small tree, like rock type of things inside there, like it's like horn type of things, just to give it a bit of a spooky, cool, atmospheric vibe. And I decided to go with mist on the roof of the tunnel, just to give it a bit of that mystery, cool. Just so it's not on the floor, it's just above the guest's head, which turned out amazing. To be honest, it turned out really cool. And I wanted to put a bit of a centerpiece here by the Renfield. First, just place a bit more of foliage and water. I found this like larger plant that I placed everywhere just to give it more of a oomph. I'm gonna use that a lot in these episodes, that oomph, just to give it a bit of spice. And I do like the way that those purple plants look. I found out something's wrong with this mist machine, but yeah, I placed some mist by the Renfield sign, but I wanted to get some centerpieces in here just to give it some, just so it gives them something to look at. So just so that it's not just a bare wall saying Renfield Park. I wanted to put a planter there, but I didn't really feel that was a good choice. I'm trying to find some more different centerpiece, maybe, just to place there. So I decided to go with these tiki heads, those Easter Island heads. Those are pretty cool. Trying to find some move these mist signs, because I mean it leaks too much onto the path, and some of the larger ones have like a wider spread. So yeah, just placing these staff buildings here just so that we can have some staff members run through here, because our zoo will need staff members to kind of look after the animals and stuff. But I mean, in the settings there is options to kind of turn it off, and I think here's exactly when I decide not to kind of place some lighting. I went with this like tiki small ground light. It's a fire tiki light, and it definitely speaks Amazon jungle to me. That's what it speaks to me. So definitely placing these along this pathway gives it a bit of energy and brings the pathway to life. I just love the way that the red looks, and once we do turn it on, you guys will definitely see the way this looks. It's just so amazing. And placing these lighting along here, and once we do get to the tour is when we will see once this happens. Yeah, and just closing out this, just placing these lights in pretty much along this pathway. I decided to get rid of these and the lights at the entrance of the cave. But those tiki lights do light up. They're fire, so we'll see that once we get to the tour. You guys will definitely see it. So yeah, I decided to put those at the entrance rather than placing those the white. I kind of almost thought about placing them throughout the cave. I might put them in the cave at a later stage, removing the lights that's already in there. But these info signs already have the lighting inside there, so I just wanted to go ahead and place. We do have some exhibits already placed in there with some animals and everything, so everything just looks great. Just putting these info signs, changing these info signs and putting them in there just to tie them up. And yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and take the tour. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, after watching that very long time lapse of me building stuff, I'm gonna finally take a tour of what we have made. Already you guys can see This is an intriguing pathway. Fire, and it's just... Oh! I'm so proud of what I've built here. Even though it took me a couple hours to do it, I'd say it's worth it. But anyway, the first things you guys can notice is the foliage and the fire pathway stuff, and the mist. The mist gives us such a subtle but very clean, atmospheric, and kind of gritty and jungly feel. Also, like all the foliage and everything. It's just, it all ties it up together, and there's some rocks in there that ties it up all. But the different types of foliage that I've used, there you'll see a lot of bracken, which is this plant over here, that one. And also, not sure what this is. It is a Scaevola plant. And also, this Wimba tree is going to be also very much one of the main trees around here. And then some water features and stuff. Just amazing. Now, first attraction is going to be over yonder, that way. But first, take a look down here where we got our first free kind of mini shops. We got a soda shop, got information, and some balloons for people to run along and start their journey in our zoo. Because, I mean, you gotta get a drink, you gotta get some info, and the kids have to have balloons. It's the way it's gotta be. Alright, we got a caretaker walking around here. Of course, I had to get some staff members to kind of dazzle stuff up. But in the background, you guys can see there is staff stuff, but it's kind of hidden in a good way. I'll try and hide it more better, and then definitely put like more staff stuff. They're walking through the bushes. But on to our main attraction here, which is gonna be our first main attraction. I wanted to go for something that is kind of mind-blowing and kind of really cool, and something that I would love to do, buddy. You'll notice the Renfield Park sign. This is gonna be the name of our park. I might change it into something South American or kind of Spanish like, but first, I just think it's wonderful. I like the way it looks, and yeah, we got some dummy heads here, statue heads. But let's move on and enter the Cave of Wonder. This is gonna be our exhibit cave, and it gets very silent in here. But we got some exhibits sitting here. We got some frogs in here. Moving on, we got some snakes. We got pretty much everything. I think there's about a dozen or more exhibits in this cave tunnel. But you guys did not see, this kind of took me about almost an hour and a half to build this whole tunnel thing. Got some spiders. More snakes. This looks so cool. I am so in love. Change this. Got a lizard of some sort. I'm not too familiar with all the exhibit animals, but some more snakes in there. You would have to like sit and look very nicely. Got one right there. Like snakes. We all like snakes. They're pretty creepy, and all of this exhibit stuff kind of gives it that definitely like Amazon jungle-y feel, and so amazing. I think we got some I think that's an iguana in there. Yeah, we can see the iguana sitting back there. Not sure where the other one. There's two. I think I put two of each exhibit. Two animal in every exhibit. This is a bit of a small exhibit. We only got some scorpions in there, but there is some lowered roof. See a scorpion sitting right over there. pointed it. Got some leaf. These are gonna be hard to kind of spot. Leaf bugs. But once there's like hundreds of them in there, hey, you won't have problems spotting them no matter what. But I'm trying to see if I can try and spot one of them. It's probably hiding over in the foliage. Can't see it. It's alright. But creepy crave. That's pretty cool. We got another type of lizard in here. Where are you, buddy? I want to go in. Hidden really well there. Probably in the plants or in the back there. Alright. Moving on. And yeah, just to finish out this cave, it's gonna be, we got some lizards in here. Probably hiding. Gila monster. But yeah. Our keeper here is around and looking after animals. Some more snakes in there. But yeah, all around, love the way this exhibit looks. This exhibit tunnel. Look at frogs in there. Just all around looks so wonderful. And you exit to dramatic fire exit. I'm probably gonna put a sign up or something to kind of give it a name. Mysterious cave. Mysterious tunnel cave or something like that. Something to make it a bit interesting, but I'm gonna get some cinematic shots for you guys so you guys can enjoy what you guys look at. Anyway, yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it for this episode of Renfield Park. Or we're probably gonna change it in the next episode. I might change it to something Spanish. Just maybe. But anyway, I just love the way everything looks. It's so atmospheric and so lovely. I really love it. Alright. Exit as a guest. You guys